Hello, dear friends. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Legends of Baseball. Omar Vizquel is undoubtedly one of the greatest names in baseball history, not just for his impressive offensive and defensive accomplishments, but also for the way he redefined the shortstop position. His journey, which started in the streets and makeshift baseball fields of Caracas, Venezuela, led him to become an MLB legend, accumulating 11 Gold Glove awards and over 2,800 hits throughout a brilliant career that spanned more than 2 decades. But what really made Omar Vizquel a unique figure in the sport? The answer goes beyond the numbers. It lies in his exceptional ability to read the game, his unwavering dedication to defense, and his impressive longevity that kept him relevant in an era where the evolution of the game is constant and relentless. During his time with the Cleveland Indians, Vizquel solidified himself as one of the most skilled defenders in history, taking shortstop defense to an unprecedented level. His flawless style on the field, where every move seemed calculated with precision, made him not only a star, but also an example of how technique, discipline, and love for the game can turn a player into a true legend. His contribution to the playoff campaigns, especially the thrilling 1995 and 1997 World Series, further cemented his status as one of the team's cornerstones. And while his defense was his signature, Vizquel also left his mark at the plate, showcasing a rare ability to stay consistent and productive over the years. Watch this video until the end to discover how Omar Vizquel became a baseball legend, transforming the shortstop position and leaving a legacy that goes far beyond statistics. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Which moment in Vizquel's career do you think most defined him as one of the greatest in history? However, Vizquel's story goes beyond the field. His post-playing career led him to a new role, mentor and coach for young talents. As one of the greatest ambassadors of Venezuelan baseball, his influence goes beyond statistics and records, serving as an inspiration to generations of players who dream of following in his footsteps. Omar Vizquel is not only remembered for his victories and awards, but for the immeasurable legacy he left both on and off the field, a legacy that continues to influence baseball, especially in Venezuela, where he is considered a true national legend. Omar Vizquel was born on April 24, 1967, in Caracas, Venezuela, a country with a strong tradition in baseball. From a young age, he showed great interest in sport, playing in the streets and makeshift fields of his hometown. His childhood was marked by relentless training and the influence of Venezuelan players who had already reached Major League Baseball, MLB. Like many children of his generation, he grew up admiring idols such as Luis Aparicio, the only Venezuelan in the MLB Hall of Fame at the time, and dreamed of following in his footsteps. From an early age, Vizquel demonstrated exceptional skills as a defender, standing out for his speed, quick reflexes, and natural instincts for the shortstop position. His talent caught the attention of local scouts, who saw in him a potential baseball star. At the age of 16, Vizquel entered the Venezuelan minor league system and began developing his defensive and offensive skills even further. He signed with the Seattle Mariners in 1984 as an amateur free agent and was sent to the minor leagues in the United States, where he faced significant challenges, such as adjusting to a new language, culture, and style of play. Despite these difficulties, his hard work and dedication soon began to pay off. He played for several Mariners affiliates, including the Bellingham Mariners, Salinas Spurs, and Vermont Mariners, always demonstrating above-average defensive talent. However, there were doubts about his offensive ability, as his hitting power was considered limited by MLB standards. Despite his offensive limitations, Vizquel compensated with his flawless defense, making him a valuable asset on the field. He quickly developed a playing style that stood out for its precise control of the ball, accurate throws, and an impressive ability to make difficult plays with apparent ease. His performances caught the attention of the Seattle Mariners organization, and in 1989, after 5 years in the minors, he finally received the long-awaited opportunity to debut in MLB. His debut came on April 3, 1989, marking the beginning of a long and illustrious career in the league. Although young and inexperienced, he already demonstrated the confidence and skill that would become his trademarks over the years. In the early years in MLB, Vizquel faced the typical struggles of a rookie, especially offensively. He was never a power hitter, and his batting averages weren't impressive. However, his defensive performance was so spectacular that it compensated for any offensive limitations. He quickly became known for his ability to make spectacular plays, saving runs, and providing security to his team's pitchers. His elegant and efficient play at shortstop caught the attention of other teams, and he began to be seen as one of the best defenders at his position. Over time, he improved his hitting, becoming a more complete and reliable player in the lineup. It was in 1993 that Vizquel made a major leap in his career when he was traded to the Cleveland Indians, where he would truly solidify himself as one of the greatest defensive shortstops in history. In Cleveland, he found an environment conducive to his development, playing alongside talents like Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, and Kenny Lofton. He quickly became one of the team's leaders and a fan favorite. During his time with the Indians, he won several Gold Glove awards, proving that his defensive excellence was not a fluke, but the result of hard work and consistency. His ability to turn difficult plays into routine ones and his tactical intelligence made him one of the most respected shortstops in the league. Omar Vizquel's journey from his childhood in Venezuela to his rise in MLB is an example of dedication, resilience, and talent. His passion for baseball, combined with an impeccable work ethic, helped him overcome barriers and reach the top of the sport. Although he started his career as an underestimated player, he proved that defense could be just as impactful as offense in the game. His rise in the league showed that excellence in baseball is not just about home runs and offensive statistics, but also about mastering the art of defense. His journey to MLB inspired countless Venezuelan and Latin American players, reinforcing his importance in a global baseball scene. Omar Vizquel made his much-awaited Major League Baseball (MLB) debut on April 3, 1989, wearing the Seattle Mariners uniform. His arrival in the big leagues was the result of years of dedication in the minor leagues, where he honed his defense and worked to improve his offensive production. As a young Venezuelan shortstop, Vizquel knew he had to impress quickly to secure his spot on the team. He took over the starting position in the Mariners' infield and, in his early games, demonstrated the exceptional defensive ability that would become his trademark. However, despite his glove skills, his adjustment to the highest level of baseball was not immediate. Facing elite pitchers and a faster, more physical game than what he had encountered in the minors, Vizquel struggled to establish himself offensively, finishing his rookie season with a batting average of only .220. Despite the struggles at the plate, his brilliant defense ensured he continued to receive opportunities with the team. Vizquel was an agile player with quick reflexes and an extremely accurate arm, allowing him to make acrobatic plays at shortstop. He quickly earned the trust of the Mariners' pitchers, who benefited from his ability to turn difficult balls into easy outs. However, like many young players, he also faced moments of insecurity and errors that helped him evolve as an athlete. His commitment to improvement led him to spend long hours on the training field, working with coaches and veterans to refine his swing mechanics and gain more offensive consistency. Even with fluctuations in his performance, the team saw his immense potential and kept betting on him as the starting shortstop. In the following years, Vizquel continued to gradually evolve, becoming increasingly comfortable in the MLB spotlight. In 1991, he suffered a knee injury that sidelined him for a long period, representing a major challenge early in his career. The recovery required patience and dedication, but he returned even more focused on refining his game. In 1993, his final year with the Mariners, he showed a higher level of maturity and confidence, particularly in defense, where his spectacular plays became more frequent. It was that season that he won his first Gold Glove, an award given to the best defenders at each position, solidifying his reputation as one of the top defensive shortstops in the league. Still, his offensive production remained a debated topic among analysts and coaches, leading the franchise to consider a trade. At the end of the 1993 season, the Mariners decided to trade Vizquel to the Cleveland Indians, in a move that would change the course of his career. Although he had already proven to be an elite defender, his departure from Seattle marked a new opportunity to further evolve as a player. With the Indians, he found a rising team full of young and talented players and became a key player in one of the most successful eras of the franchise. His time with the Mariners was crucial for his growth, as it provided him with experience, learning, and resilience to handle the ups and downs of professional baseball. Although his early years in MLB were marked by challenges, it was these very difficulties that shaped Vizquel into one of the greatest defensive shortstops in the history of sport. When Omar Vizquel arrived at the Cleveland Indians in 1994, he joined a team on the rise, filled with young talents like Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, and Albert Bell. The move to Cleveland represented a golden opportunity for him not only to solidify his defensive reputation, but also to develop his offensive game in a highly competitive roster. Under manager Mike Hargrove, Vizquel quickly established himself as the starting shortstop and became one of the cornerstones of the team's defense. His impact was immediate, providing security in the infield and forming an ideal partnership with Roberto Alomar at second base, creating one of the most iconic defensive duos in MLB history. With his incredible agility, sharp reflexes, and ability to make seemingly impossible plays, he stood out as a true magician on defense, solidifying his place as one of the best in the league. Throughout his decade with the Indians, Vizquel accumulated an impressive collection of defensive awards, winning 8 consecutive Gold Gloves between 1994 and 2001. His consistency at shortstop allowed Cleveland to have a reliable defense, essential to the team's success in the 90s. But it wasn't just his glove that evolved. Vizquel also began to significantly improve at the plate, raising his batting average and becoming a reliable threat in the lower part of the lineup. He excelled for his discipline at the plate, his ability to put the ball in play, and his speed on the bases, making him a complete and indispensable player for the Indians. This offensive evolution contributed to the team's success, as they became one of the most dominant teams in the American League during that period, reaching the postseason on multiple occasions. The peak of his time with Cleveland came in 1995 and 1997, when the Indians reached the World Series. In 1995, the team boasted a powerful offense and solid defense, but they were defeated by the Atlanta Braves in 6 games. In 1997, the Indians once again made it to the final, this time facing the Florida Marlins. Vizquel played a key role in the team's journey to the championship, with brilliant defensive performances and important offensive moments. However, Cleveland suffered a painful loss in Game 7, in a match decided in extra innings. Despite the frustration of not winning the title, those years marked the definitive rise of Vizquel as one of the best shortstops of the modern era and reinforced his legacy as a leader within the team. Even as the years passed, Vizquel maintained his defensive excellence and remained a key player for the Indians until 2004. His longevity at the highest level of baseball was impressive, and his influence went beyond the field, helping to shape new generations of players with his leadership and work ethic. His departure from Cleveland was filled with recognition, as fans and the franchise knew he had been one of the main contributors to the success of that era. When he left the Indians to sign with the San Francisco Giants in 2005, Vizquel had already cemented himself as one of the greatest defenders in baseball history and a true legend of the Cleveland franchise. His legacy remained alive in the city, where he is still remembered as one of the greatest shortstops to ever wear the Indians' uniform. Omar Vizquel was one of the greatest defenders in baseball history, redefining excellence at the shortstop position. His career was marked by quick reflexes, incredibly secure hands, and surgical precision in his throws, qualities that made him one of the most reliable defensive players. Vizquel had a unique talent for anticipating plays, reading the ball at the exact moment of bat contact, and reacting with impressive speed. His defensive skills were so refined that he made incredibly difficult plays look simple, often executing precise throws while in motion or completing double plays in fractions of a second. His intelligent positioning and agility allowed him to cover vast areas of the field, frustrating batters who thought they had a surefire hit. Throughout his brilliant career, Vizquel accumulated 11 Gold Glove awards, 9 of them consecutively between 1993 and 2001, a feat that placed him among the greatest defenders in the sport's history. His dominance at the position led him to become the shortstop with the most games played in MLB history, a record that symbolizes not only his durability, but also his consistency in maintaining an elite level for over 2 decades. He was the definition of reliability in the infield, rarely making errors and always demonstrating remarkable calmness, even in the most difficult plays. His meticulous work on defense made coaches and players consider him a true artist at shortstop, elevating the standard for the position for future generations. In addition to his impressive number of awards and defensive records, Vizquel also revolutionized the way the position was played. His approach combined impeccable fundamentals with creativity, and he often surprised opponents with innovative plays, such as glove flips, air spins, and acrobatic defenses that required exceptional body control. Unlike many defenders who relied solely on arm strength, Vizquel prioritized precision, ensuring each throw reached first base exactly where it needed to be to retire runners. His tactical intelligence and sharp instincts meant he was always one step ahead of his opponents, making his defense not only efficient, but also spectacular to watch. Vizquel's impact on defense transcended statistics and awards, as he became a role model for any young athlete wanting to excel at shortstop. His longevity and consistency inspired generations of defenders who studied his technique and tried to replicate his mastery on the field. He showed that defensive excellence wasn't just about brute strength, but about dedication, discipline, and attention to detail. His legacy lives on in the way modern baseball values exceptional defenders, and his name will always be remembered among the best to have played the shortstop position. Omar Vizquel played a key role in the Cleveland Indians' playoff campaigns during the 1990s, helping the team reach the World Series in 1995 and 1997. As the starting shortstop, his defensive presence was essential to the team's success, providing stability in the infield and ensuring pitchers had complete confidence in his ability to turn difficult plays into precise outs. During the postseason, when every play can mean the difference between victory and defeat, Vizquel stood out with quick reflexes, tactical intelligence, and flawless positioning. In 1995, his defensive leadership helped the Indians win the American League title for the first time since 1954, leading them to the World Series against the Atlanta Braves. although Cleveland was defeated in 6 games. Vizquel proved to be one of the team's most important players, contributing both defensively and offensively. The 1997 campaign was even more remarkable for Vizquel and the Indians, who reached their second World Series in 3 years. During the playoffs, he continued to be one of the team's cornerstones, displaying flawless defensive play and providing energy offensively. Vizquel shone in the American League Championship Series, ALCS, against the Baltimore Orioles, where his defense helped keep close games under control and his offensive presence secured timely hits. In the World Series against the Florida Marlins, he made crucial plays in the infield and kept the Indians' defense solid throughout the series. Unfortunately, Cleveland lost the title in a dramatic Game 7, decided in the 11th inning, but Vizquel's performance throughout the postseason further solidified his reputation as a key player in critical moments. In addition to his defensive excellence, Vizquel also had a significant impact offensively during the playoffs. Although he was best known for his defense, he showed consistency as a hitter, regularly getting on base and using his speed to pressure opposing defenses. His aggressive approach at the plate and ability to put the ball in play were valuable to a team that already featured powerful hitters like Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, and Albert Bell. Vizquel was the type of player who did whatever it took to help the team win, whether it was executing a crucial bunt, stealing a base, or driving in runs with timely hits. His impact in the playoffs helped define the Indians' competitive identity at the time and solidified his legacy as one of the most complete shortstops in the franchise's history. Omar Vizquel's longevity in MLB is a testament to his dedication, talent, and adaptability. Over an incredible 24-season career, he remained competitive at the highest level, even after turning 40. After leaving the Cleveland Indians in 2004, Vizquel continued to impress with his impeccable defense and baseball IQ for teams like the San Francisco Giants, Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox, and Toronto Blue Jays. His discipline in training and commitment to excellence ensured that he remained a valuable asset for any team. Even as his offensive production began to decline with age, his defense remained a differentiating factor, and his game knowledge made him a respected presence in the clubhouse among younger players. Beyond his longevity, Vizquel also stood out as a leader and mentor within the teams he played for. With the Giants, for example, he not only maintained a high defensive level, but also helped guide a new generation of infield players, passing on his knowledge and work ethic. In his later years with the White Sox and Blue Jays, he took on an even more active role as a veteran leader, serving as a reference for rising players. His professional approach to the game and commitment to the details influenced many young athletes, cementing his legacy beyond the statistics. His leadership was valued not only for his words, but for the example he set on the field, always giving his best, regardless of age or the time of the season. Vizquel's ability to reinvent himself and remain relevant is a rare feat in MLB, especially for a defensive player whose position demands speed, quick reflexes, and agility. Even in his later years, he displayed incredible physical condition and a game-reading ability that allowed him to compensate for any athletic decline with experience and situational intelligence. Throughout his career, he broke records, accumulated awards, and solidified his place as one of the greatest defensive shortstops in baseball history. His longevity wasn't just a matter of time on the field, but rather continuous impact, showing that excellence can be maintained for decades when talent is combined with dedication and passion for the game. Although Omar Vizquel built his reputation mainly through his impeccable defense, his offensive contribution was also notable throughout his long career. With over 2,800 hits, he established himself as one of the most productive offensive shortstops in MLB history. His ability to put the ball in play, make consistent contact, and execute timely hits made him a valuable player at the top or bottom of the batting order. While never a power hitter, Vizquel was extremely effective at advancing runners, sacrificing in key moments, and getting situational hits, contributing to the success of his teams. His discipline at the plate and knowledge of the strike zone helped him maintain a solid batting average over the years. In addition to accumulating a high number of hits, Vizquel also stood out as an intelligent and aggressive base runner, recording over 400 stolen bases in his career. His speed and ability to read pitchers allowed him to create extra opportunities for his team, turning singles into doubles and putting pressure on opposing defenses. His offensive impact may not have been as recognized as his defense, but his consistency and longevity placed him in an exclusive tier among historic shortstops. Few players at the position have been able to combine defensive excellence and offensive productivity for so long, making Vizquel an example of a well-rounded athlete and a reference for future generations. After retiring as a player, Omar Vizquel continued to contribute to baseball, this time off the field as a coach and mentor to new talent. He began his coaching career in various roles, serving as an infield instructor and base coach for teams such as the Los Angeles Angels, Detroit Tigers, and Chicago White Sox. His experience and tactical knowledge made him a natural teacher, especially for young defenders looking to improve their shortstop skills. Vizquel also spent time as a manager in the minor leagues, where he helped develop promising players, teaching not only technical fundamentals, but also the mentality needed to succeed in the MLB. In addition to his coaching work, Vizquel became an influential figure in the development of baseball in Latin America, particularly among Venezuelan players dreaming of making it to the MLB. His dedication to the sport and legacy of defensive excellence continue to inspire generations of athletes looking to follow in his footsteps. Even outside the spotlight as a player, Vizquel remains a reference within baseball, passing on his knowledge and influencing the next generation of shortstops and defenders. His impact on the sport goes beyond records and awards. He left a lasting mark both on the field and in the development of future talents in the game. Omar Vizquel is widely recognized as one of the greatest Venezuelan players in baseball history, leaving a legacy that transcends generations. His successful MLB career, marked by defensive excellence, longevity, and leadership, made him an inspiration for young athletes in Venezuela and across Latin America. From the beginning of his career, Vizquel showed that talent, combined with discipline and hard work, can lead a player to reach historic heights in the sport. His impressive collection of 11 Gold Glove awards, his pivotal role in the Cleveland Indians' major campaigns, and his longevity in the game served as motivation for countless aspiring shortstops dreaming of following in his footsteps and reaching the MLB. In addition to his impact on the field, Vizquel helped strengthen Venezuela's presence in professional baseball, opening doors for future generations of players from the country. His success inspired a new wave of Venezuelan talent, such as Elvis Andrus, Alcides Escobar, and Francisco Lindor, who grew up admiring his playing style and impeccable defensive approach. His commitment to the sport continued even after retirement, helping develop young athletes as a coach and serving as an ambassador for Venezuelan baseball on the international stage. With a career that combined talent, longevity, and cultural impact, Omar Vizquel established himself as a true icon of the sport in his country and around the world. After retiring, Omar Vizquel faced some controversies that impacted his public image and, consequently, affected his chances of being inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame. Among the most discussed situations were allegations of questionable off-field behavior, including accusations of domestic abuse, which sparked a debate about his Hall of Fame eligibility. While Vizquel had always been highly respected for his on-field skills, The media and fans could not ignore these episodes from his personal life. The pressure from these controversies divided opinions on his legacy, particularly when it came to assessing his conduct off the field. In addition to the personal issues, Vizquel also faced challenges related to the public perception of his career. Despite his impressive defensive resume, the lack of greater consistency as a top hitter and the absence of a World Series championship affected how some analysts and voters viewed his Hall of Fame eligibility. These issues added to the debate about whether he should be celebrated on the same level as other great players of his era, making his induction into the Hall of Fame a polarizing topic in the years following his retirement. Thus, the controversies, combined with perceived limitations in his offensive career, significantly impacted his chances of entering the Baseball Immortals Club. Omar Vizquel's journey in baseball goes far beyond the great plays and impressive statistics. His legacy is a testament to dedication, resilience, and passion for the game. As one of the greatest defenders of all time, Vizquel redefined what it means to be a shortstop, not only through his technical skills, but also by the mentality he brought to the field. His longevity and consistency, playing for more than 2 decades with teams like the Cleveland Indians and the San Francisco Giants, demonstrate that with hard work and perseverance, any player can achieve greatness. But the true greatness of Vizquel cannot be measured solely by the awards or numbers he accumulated. He was an example of how humility, respect, and work ethic translate into success both on and off the field. His influence on Venezuelan baseball, inspiring new generations of players, is something that transcends his individual accomplishments. He was not only an icon of baseball, but also a mentor who passed on the values that helped him become a legend. Moreover, Vizquel was always a player who knew how to adapt and evolve, not only in terms of his position, but also in his style of play. He was so attentive to detail that his defense seemed almost magical, as if he had the power to anticipate every play. His mastery of defensive play made him a wall on the field, but his offensive skills were not left behind either. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content, and hit the bell to receive notifications. And don't forget to leave your comment. The combination of his competence in both areas placed him among the greats, making him one of the most complete shortstops in baseball history. In the end, Omar Vizquel's career is a reminder that true greatness doesn't come just from numbers and victories, but from the way a player impacts the game and the lives of those around them. He left an indelible mark, not only on the teams he played for, but also on the generations that followed him and in the hearts of baseball fans. His story will be remembered as an example of excellence, passion, and the true spirit of the sport. Until the next journey, dear baseball lovers,